Check, check, mic check. All right, welcome into First Alert Weather Plus. I'm First Alert meteorologist Arius Mack here. It is Tuesday, February 10th, and it is quite a warm day out there. I mean, it's 75 degrees right now in February. So here we are. It feels like spring. We're getting that early tease of spring weather out there. Beautiful day. Hopefully you're going to get out and enjoy this weather while you can, because it's not going to last long. We got this one really good day where we're in the 70s, and then after that, things are going to be getting cooler for us following that. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But also, you know, it has the question, are the cold weather days over? You know, we've got this really warm weather. Last week, we've had temperatures in the 50s, 60s. Today, we're in the 70s. So it looks like it is going to stay consistently milder for us as we go over the next several days as well. But are the really cold weather days over? That's going to be the question to ask. And so I'm here to tell you not exactly, because we are going to be looking ahead at the changes that may arrive, especially as we go later into the month of February. So things can be quite deceiving, with February bringing this very unusual warm air our way. But we're going to be looking at some changes possibly later into the month of February. And it's just a reminder that winter isn't over just yet. We got meteorological winter that lasts through February 28th, and then we're just weeks away from meteorological spring. So that's going to be coming up here right around March 1st. And then, as I mentioned, with that question that poses for us. So let's talk about meteorological spring. So that lasts from March through May. And this is all just... The reason that we have meteorological seasons is just to keep track of temperatures. It's just a more consistent way to keep track of temperatures. And it's right around this time of year where we start to see temperatures trending warmer for your daily averages. So, again, we get into meteorological spring, March through May. And then, as I mentioned, just a consistent way of keeping up with record keeping with the National Weather Service. So, with the spring season coming up, we're going to be looking at longer days. And so your sunsets are going to be even later as we go pretty much over the next few weeks. 5:23 the sunset today. And then in just about a couple of weeks, we're looking at 5:37 and then 5:44 just 3 weeks away, March 3rd. That's going to be before the time change that's going to arrive shortly after that. So with that time change, we'll actually lose an hour of sleep but gain that extra hour. You'll start to see those sunsets after 6 p.m. So let's talk about the 6 to 10 day outlook. So things are staying above average for high temperatures, and this is where we are really over the next couple of weeks. There's the 8 to 14 day outlook. So we're not looking at yet another cold blast immediately to speak of, but there's no signs of that showing up in our immediate future. But we could be looking at yet another cold spell on the way, coming up late February and early into March. That's a possibility. So it may not last long, but just to say, the cold weather days aren't entirely over. So let's talk about below average winter weather days. And so what I did is I actually took a look at the last 30 years in Nashville, just kind of calculated all of the average temperatures during the winter season. So again, that's going to be between December and March, where we get, December through February, where we get that winter season, keeping track with those temperatures. And so 43 degrees is the total that I got for that, for the average temperature. So it takes account the highs and lows, and that is the average. So below average weather days so far that we've had this season, 46. So 46 out of the 90 days total. And of course, we're still counting here, but 46 have been below average, so a little more than half. And then the average number of below average weather days, typically right around 52. So we're not there just yet. So that's why it's safe to say that we're not entirely done with the cold weather days. And even though February has fewer below average weather days as far as the cold temperatures go, doesn't necessarily mean that we can't see that happen. In fact, the average last day where we're seeing a temperature below 43 degrees is in March. So that's just to show you that the cold weather days, although it may seem Like today, it's 75 degrees and nice. We've got sunshine out there. Things may start to even bud right now just because of how warm it's gotten. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we are just through with cold weather days. And so, yeah, that heavy coat that you may have just stored away rather quickly, you may need that again, especially rolling even into March. Again, that's the average last day where temperatures are below 43 degrees. And speaking of temperatures, let's talk about those numbers as we go over the next 7 days. I did mention that we're not expecting anything crazy cold, but it is going to be a little cooler for us with your forecast highs. Today is really a nice day. And as I just mentioned, it's 75 now, so it's kind of overachieving. But by tomorrow, you'll see that change, that rather dramatic change. We go from 74 or 75 today, and then those temperatures dropping down to the 50s. We're going to be somewhere near average as we over the next few days, hovering right around the mid and upper 50s and 60s. But nothing that is showing signs of extreme cold, thankfully, or anything that's crazy cold weather. But again, I do want to point out that there is that possibility once again that we do get that next cold spell later into the month and early into March. Well, this is pretty much sums up today's edition of First Alert Weather Plus. First Alert Meteorologist Darius Mack here. Hope you all are enjoying this beautiful day. I want to end taking yet another view of the skyline. You see the Music City there, and you got those thin, wispy clouds moving in overhead. But all in all, a really beautiful day out there. Hopefully you all are getting out and enjoying this weather while you can. Soak it all up because those changes do arrive. We are going to be looking later, especially later into the week. We know that Valentine's Day is coming up. We're going to be taking a look at those rain chances. If you haven't already, you can check the forecast available on WSMV.com/weather to get all of your weather needs and, of course, all the information for the upcoming week. Well, First Alert Meteorologist Darius back here. Everybody be safe, take care, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.